Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
Welcome back to Real Estate on the Rocks. I'm your host, Dave Snowberger, joined in the studio today with the...
Man, the myth, the legend. He's back.
Marshall Tucker,
Alicia Hooper, and James, the new guy, Mendez.
We back.
How did everybody's spring break go?
What is spring break?
Oh, wait, we're supposed to be creating evergreen content, so we can't bring up certain dates, but spring break happens all the time, right?
For some people.
For some people, right, yes. What is this spring break?
It was the end of the first quarter vacation.
There you go.
We see it.
All right, nerd. Spring break, we went up to Branson, Missouri. As you could see from some of the stuff we did, we had a lot of fun. Got to check out some stuff in Waco. Went to that Magnolia table, I think it is, which is those folks, those fixer-upper folks on TV.
Chip and Joanna?
Yeah, those folks.
I don't
Actually, they own
I don't have cable.
they actually own a real estate company also. I know they're around Waco and somewhat in the Austin area, I think, trying to sell homes, selling homes. I don't know how they're doing. Seen their signs every once in a while. But anyway, we stopped by that place, had a delicious breakfast. Only a 45-minute wait. After we left, there was about a 2-hour wait. From
I heard the lines are real long.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's quite a setup too. But
Was the food worth the 45-minute wait?
yeah, because I shot a Wilco Eats video also, so I was able to do that. So I got a lot of footage walking around like a dope with my camera out, just kind of like taking pictures of things, and people were looking at me like I'm an alien. Like, yeah, well, you're gonna be on a video.
Yeah.
So
Please sign
You
this.
think people will be more used to it, considering how much content is created by people?
Yeah.
To go to like special places, they'll actually,
People
record
still
some
like an
different stuff.
accident. They like to gawk and stare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it really uncomfortable. Then we got up to Branson, Missouri. I didn't film much up there, but we did do this Wolf Mountain Resort thing. Posted that on my Facebook page also. But, we took the kid up there, and she had a great time. And it was fun. It was like tubing down the mountain, but it was 70 degrees outside, 72 degrees outside. So it was quite nice. I didn't have to bear the cold.
I want to do the spinning thing. You see it?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, she was
Oh, yeah, the
spinning
video.
in circles.
The guys up on top of the mountain, they just shoot her down the mountain and then spin her, and she's just spinning the whole way down the mountain. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
But, we did that.
I'm a little too dizzy. Yep, thank you.
Glad to be back. Branson, Missouri. It's not your typical vacation spot for anything like that. It was off the beaten path for us. We wanted something different since we're going to Disney World in 3 weeks, and then we're doing Florida again in 6 weeks after that. So,
Dang, how early are you selling real estate or what?
Spring break, after spring break.
Yeah, he knocked me off the leaderboard.
Yeah, so, just benefits of having a team. They just go work their butts off, and you just go take all the money and spend it. I wish. In a perfect world. So, did you guys do anything fun?
I went down to Corpus, and it was overcast. It was cold. Kids played in the sand. I had a jacket on. So we saw the aquarium, went to the, the Lexington?
Nice.
So they had fun.
The Wexington. That's what my nephew calls it. With the W, the Wexington.
Wexington.
Yeah. That's the big ship down there in the Corpus Christi, Texas Bay.
Yeah, they like that, exploring it and just checking all the different rooms. So
Isn't it
pretty
haunted?
Cool. It was my first time in it, so before it was always really hot and sunny. I'm like, nah, we got the water, but this time it was like, well, we got to find other things to do. So
There you go.
Did you do anything fun?
I went to Shreveport. My grandparents asked me to take them on a little mini trip, so I took them over to Shreveport and we gambled and had fun. Yeah. It was good times.
She like, here's a dime to go.
Excuse me, my grandma was way cooler than you, okay?
Here's a nickel. Go put this on black.
No.
James, did you go anywhere, or did you hold the fort down?
Yeah, I went to the office.
Yes.
I was there all week, Saturday and Sunday, and because I'm a master at this podcast production, I mislabeled some files, so I had to go through, re-edit, and reorganize everything from the beginning till now. But I got everything set up, got the files done, and so now it's all like perfectly lined up. Everything's posting, so made some phone calls and emails and text messages, and
we got some followers.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
We got some followers.
I heard we had like 2,
Guys,
right?
that sounds more
About
fun
to
than
break.
Yeah.
About to break 400
What?
unique downloads
That's
in less
exciting.
than about a month and a half.
Very, Very nice. All right, well, that's enough small talk. Let's get on to the topic today and show some value out there. We had been talking about a little bit, just kind of how does a new or emerging or a veteran agent on the rise win? Is that? I hear something. What is that?
I think it's the hallway.
That's our raving fans laughing off it.
They're trying to get into our,
yeah, they're like zombies. Yeah.
We just got to beat them away.
Right.
Sign our contracts. So, what are we seeing these days? What makes a confident agent? I see that up on the board right there. Let's get into that. Marshall, explain that for me.
Well, what does make a confident agent? Someone who's going to put themselves out there, and who's going to take that kind of risk. I think it's going to be someone who believes in themselves. They're going to have to believe in the company that they work for. You're going to have to believe in the product you sell, and you're going to have to believe in the end result of that product.
All right. So the end result of that product, what would that be? Selling. Let's go back to believe in yourself.
Right. Well, I guess believe in yourself, right? So you got to be able to put yourself out there. You have to have the confidence and a little bit of market knowledge to be able to have a conversation with someone. The company that you believe in, so Keller Williams, United Group, and both kind of the same. I consider United Group really our company.
Right.
Not so much the brokerage.
Right.
Because, and then the product you sell is going to be yourself. You have to sell yourself to the clients. And then the end result of that is actually a home sale.
Right.
Or client satisfaction.
Or referral.
Happy clients, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Happy clients. Very nice.
What's the company name again?
What's that?
What's the company name again?
Snowburger Realty Group.
Oh, rebranding.
Rebrand.
Shameless
Rebrand.
plug.
Shameless plug. Snowburger Realty Group, Austin, Texas. Send us all your referrals. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thought I'd throw that back in there.
All right. So the steps to reinvent yourself in a changing environment. The marketing funnel system. Let's talk about that real quick. I'm going to keep saying funnel system even though it says hourglass.
It's the same thing.
It is not.
It is a marketing funnel in the shape of an hourglass of how it's going to work.
There we go. All right, so a marketing hourglass. So we've gone over this 100 times. Our message never really is going to change. To do more business, you need to get people to know, like, and trust you, right?
Yeah, right. We had a good episode. If you go back in the in our history, Monday, March 25th, we hit know, like, and trust. Did a good job, but definitely a deeper dive today.
Well, let's dive.
I'm in.
Splash. Sound effect, splash.
Did that sound like a splash?
No, that sounded like something blew up. Okay, so once you get more clients to know you, or potential clients, or strangers, or whoever it is to know you, to like you, to trust you, then they'll give you a try, right? And so what does that mean to you guys? Try. They'll give you a try.
Well, if they're giving you a try, they've already known you and like you and trust you, so they trust that you're the professional now. So a try is they're going to give you the opportunity to sell their house or to buy a house with them, or investment purchase.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is that what you guys, everybody agree on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're still exploring you out, still going through the process. They can still fire you as an agent if you're not meeting their minimum requirements or what they feel that they need from you in order to get to the next phase.
Right. Which to me the next phase would be to buy from you, right?
Or sell.
And so or sell, right? Correct.
Yeah, the transaction.
And then repeat. And so know, like, trust, try, buy, repeat.
Yes.
And so somewhere in that process, they're going to, give you another try, buy from you again. Mm-hmm. When the time's up, 5 to 7 years is usually the average that a buyer buys, or a seller, sells. However that analogy would go, and then repeat, and then what?
Refer.
All right, and so that's really the gold in this whole thing.
She pauses.
Right.
And that's
It's like podcasting with my sister's kids.
Okay, so when you look at this, I mean, it's simple, right? Which is real estate. Real estate is simple, and we tend to complicate it. And
It's simple. It's not easy.
Correct, but it is simple. So know, like, trust. Start with your sphere. Mm-hmm. They already have that established,
right.
Or you already have that established, right? And if they're not ready to try, they're going to find somebody, which you are going to skip down to the refer, and then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, well, they helped Sally over there. Mm-hmm. So they're going to know, like, trust you even more, and then they're going to be ready to use you for their personal transaction.
Okay. And so, over here was the steps to reinvent yourself in a changing environment. I don't know why environment spelled with an I.
New guy. You're so pretty.
Where? Oh,
When you go up to the board, things change.
Yeah.
I can't even spell anymore since Swipe has come out.
Alternative facts.
I didn't even notice I did that.
And so I don't catch many misspellings, obviously, but I caught that one.
Yeah, you did.
You gotta make sure you guys are on your toes.
So let's talk about getting more people to know you, because I think that's in the grand scheme of things. I believe we're already there when it comes to our sphere.
Okay.
Let's just assume that most people out here, they've been hammered into their head by their broker they do have, or by other podcasts or other maybe Facebook pages that really people need to reach out to their sphere. I think they get that. How do they add to that? Mm-hmm. And so that's this whole thing about know, like, and trust. That's where my head is in this space right now, is how do you get more people to know you? Mm-hmm. And we had some tips up here that it really came down to, maybe over-indexing on reviews. The sphere that you do have, do you have a strong review system with them? Do you have something in place to hit all the best spots out there for reviews? There's Zillow reviews, there's Google reviews,
Facebook.
There's Yelp, there's Facebook. There's a ton of places you can get reviews, even if you started your own page to where you just collected you had your name. Like I have davesnowberger.com. And that actually leads you to my website. However, it used to be just kind of a general about me landing page. It's like, look at me. This is why I'm great. This is why you'll buy and sell with me, whatever else. And it was just a little bio on me and really didn't have any links. It was just kind of somebody Googled me. That's what came up.
Sure.
But if you over-index on the reviews, and how do you do that? What are some suggestions you could do is really go back to the sphere that we were just talking about, that sphere of influence, and throw out a general email, just genuinely asking for help and saying, hey, and it could be a mass email to everybody. You can take your time and do it to just one person. You can BCC everybody on it and just wait to see what you get back. But hey, I'm really trying to grow my business. I was involved with you with buying a house or selling a house, or we bought that investment property together. I helped you with that. Would you mind taking 5 minutes out of your day just to type me up a quick review? Or you can provide the links. If you go in there, I know
Just gonna say that.
Yeah, I know that Melanie, our admin of our team, our director of operations of our team, is great about having the links for you. As soon as we close a property, an email goes out thanking them and saying, hey, will you take your time to do this? And then she sees she has a follow-up plan. So in 2 days, if she doesn't hear anything, she sends them a nice little reminder.
Nice.
And just this whole
friendly nudge.
Yeah, it's a friendly nudge.
Yeah.
And so
They said that's the best process. They said there's I can't remember what the numbers were, but they were saying that there's a significant difference between you requesting reviews and information or feedback with and without links, because people are like, oh, I have to go look for something. I got to remember where they want me to do it. And so people will having good intentions to do it, but they don't actually follow through with it, as opposed to a one button link that takes you right there. People are more inclined to do that. And then also shortly after a transaction.
While they're at the closing table.
Yeah.
Or that, yeah.
Handwrite it.
And make
No,
sure that
kidding.
they know if you're sending
Pass them an iPad.
5 links. So if you have Facebook, Yelp, etc., you have 5 different links where you want them to review. Make sure that they know it's a copy and paste. So write it one time, copy paste to all these different links.
And if they are going to post in just one place, what's your preference?
I would say at this point it's Google.
Google?
Yeah, Google to me is the most important one. It seems to be that I don't want to badmouth Zillow, but I really don't give a hoot about Zillow. Zillow, apparently these days you have to sign in if you're the client on one of the transactions, a buyer or seller. You need to sign in. You need to talk about the address. So you need to put in the address that you just closed on, right? Then you need to put in all your information, your email, your phone number, all this great stuff to get the review through. And so what Zillow does is they just recaptured your client, and they know the stats that within 5 to 7 years, those people are more than likely going to move. And then somewhere through there, they've created an algorithm to see of when they start marketing those people 2 years out.
Yeah.
And so from the industry, what this is coming back to now of Zillow being that trusted referral partner for so many years, now Zillow getting into the game of really our competition. Some people still speak the praises of Zillow. However, what that's done now is that takes that lead, because most agents, we all know that, what is it, like 80%, 90% of agents don't follow up with their clients after 5 to 7 years. That
Then they see them on Facebook.
That number's probably higher, but
Yeah, the consumer gets polled and said, would you have bought from or sold with that same realtor again? Yes, but I lost contact with them.
Right.
And it's not their job to keep up with us. It's our job to keep up with them.
I can't remember the name of the realtor who sold me my house.
Oh, dang.
Can you?
Why would we know? We didn't even know you then.
No, the house that you live in. Funny guy.
Got him.
Yes, I remember mine because mine are still in the business. They're actually a huge team in the Austin, Texas area, and we still talk and we still say hello. And my goal is to unseat them.
I got
As the
0
number one team.
follow-ups
There
from
you
mine.
go.
So when you're gonna sell, you're gonna send that referral to your team.
What's that?
So when you sell, you're gonna send your referral to your team or their team.
Definitely my team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll probably
What was that team's name again? I can't remember them.
I'm going to go Fizbo and just wreak havoc on every agent that calls
Lord.
me.
Oh, that's why I hate calling Fizbos and be like, oh yeah, I'm an agent.
That's I have worked that into my script now because that is happening more and more. It's like my number 3 question, I think.
We've listed agents. Tracy, she was an agent.
Nice.
Yeah, we did 3 transactions with her, and the funny thing is, we Google our people. We always talked about this. We've had plenty of shows where we stalk our clients.
Yeah.
Find out who they are, and then boom, we used to go into Trek
Like,
all the
Dave,
time.
she has a license.
Yeah, we go into Trek all the time, and he leans over to me. He's like, "Dude, this girl's got a license," and I was like, "No kidding." So I start checking her out. She's got a current license.
Yeah.
And she just didn't know what she was doing. Like, she was with a small broker, and she's like, "Look, I trust you guys. I would just want to do it with you guys. Is that cool?" And we're like, "Yeah, cool."
Recruiter to your team, homie.
Yeah.
I was excited
thanks.
for one down the street.
No thanks. She wasn't that cool.
I was excited for one Fizbo and I pulled it up and I was like about to call him. And I was like, oh, let me check the MLS real quick. Checked it up. It's in the MLS.
Yeah.
For agent.
A lot of them
owner.
are in the
I was
MLS.
like, I hate you right now. It's your stupid sign. I hope you trip over it.
Hey.
Yeah. Abundance, don't hate.
Abundance.
That's right.
It's abundance for us. I would have left.
So, okay, so over indexing the reviews. That's a solid one right there. Get as many reviews as possible, right? So that will certainly help the new emerging agents and a lot of them that are re-engaging after a few years off or out of the market. Number 2 on this, let's do the marketing collateral musts. Map of transactions, yours and your company's. What does that mean?
So it's like showing the process, and you're also the validation of like you've done these many contract or transactions. It's just the validity of your
In this
of the
area, kind of like
organization.
geographically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're saying that, and they actually were saying on them. So you'll have a picture of yourself, your contact information, very clean, concise information, and then your team production to show, or you can do it as a solo agent on what you're doing to show people. It's just
You definitely want to go team.
Yeah, if you're a new agent, go to
Yeah. New guy.
I got one sale. 7 months.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
So, but yeah.
I wasn't calling any names there.
Hey,
James.
it was
Mendez.
yeah, it was a while, but yeah. So the validity of that. So and you can also tag in reviews too if you're for the team or for yourself.
Right on.
Testimonials.
On the testimonials on the page because you're just wrapping more validation.
Right.
Other validation in you, so it gives people the confidence.
Yeah, we even have our testimonials in our listing packet.
Presentation.
Yeah, our presentation. We go over, and then the last 2 pages are all of our testimonials.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. You said clear, concise information. So I do a lot of agent-to-agent referrals, especially through Facebook, and I don't know how many times I tell you that I pull up an agent because I want to send them a referral or just need to call them, and I can't find their phone number. I can't find anything on them, and I have to go to Google.
Undercover agents.
Yeah, and I have to Google that. So make sure in your little bio there you have your name obviously is on there, but you want to make sure that the service area is on there, your phone number, your email, and your website. That way, anyone who's looking at you wants to send you some money, they can find you quickly and easily.
All working numbers. I just got a sign.
Preferably a local phone number.
Yeah. A friend of mine wants to buy.
There's a study behind
Family
that.
wants to buy land. I see the big sign for it that from the picture. Called all 3 numbers. None of them work.
Yeah.
Googled them. None of the numbers work on Google for.
They wonder why they're
Hell,
not selling.
we just had the one we had a house that we sold in Hutto, which is right outside of Austin.
Kippos.
The agent actually turned in her information. I went to go accept her offer. I talked it over with the client, which was a buddy of mine, and I called and boom, nothing. It was do. I was like, you're kidding me. Like, she just wrote this contract. It's less than 24 hours old, and the phone number on here is wrong, so there's a second number. Or I went to her broker number and back, called her broker, and broker's like, she hasn't worked here in about a year. I didn't even know she was still doing real estate.
No way.
And I was like, yeah, apparently she does. And I was like, is this your brokerage? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, but she's not here anymore, man. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so I remember she had called the office. And so I went to the office phone and I kind of scrolled through and called like 3 or 4 numbers and finally got her. And she's like, oh, I used my old contract, and like, yeah, I've switched my phone number from somewhere else. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah, know what you're doing, please.
Yeah, it's that's some goofy stuff right there.
Yeah, seriously.
That's a good way to lose your license that you're not really using.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, I would say part-timer at best on that one. But it was just a weird story, and I finally dug her up and we got the contract. We got it all done, but of course we worked the whole thing.
Yeah.
She just kind of brought us the client, which was fine because she gave up most of the commission to her client.
Wow.
We had to pay for all kinds of stuff.
Crazy.
Weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Story, text and video. Who wants that one?
I'll start it. So, and you guys can finish it off because you guys are. So, is how you're communicating your story outside of your just the context and communication and reviews is how you're communicating with people. Since a lot of people are shifting more towards text messages, you can add videos and text messages. You can add video and text content into your social media and things like that, just to convey what you are doing, have done, any testimonials, stuff like that, just to show further validation.
And it's a step.
And
it's a different step to take also because a lot of people are not sharing video text to, especially if they're prospecting to expires, FSBOs, etc.
Yeah.
To get the try.
Yep.
Don't you have a cool story where you did that and they were like, hey, I've never seen that before?
Just about every one of our deals.
Oh, my bad. Okay. All right.
A lot of cool stories here.
I'll rip through it real quick. My cool story about the video texting was I wasn't really buying into it. It was recommended to me by a friend of ours named Scott Gibson, which is a coach out of the Arizona area with Tom Ferry organization. And we were talking about this. He's like, hey, man, you should start trying this. And so I did. I tried it on the first one. And it was a referral. It was actually, the girl had called me, and since it was farm and ranch, she said, hey, I had this referral for you. Will you agree to pay 25%? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, no problem. So she sends it over to me. Well, I'm just thinking that's a referral.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was a FSBO that was just, she found, and she thought since I work farm and ranch that I would be better to call it because I would know what I'm talking about, and she didn't. And so really, I was like, it wasn't really a referral, but
really
I called
cold
it.
referral.
I called it with the mindset that it was a referral,
Yeah.
and I'd use the video text. I called him, he didn't answer, and I was like, I just formed something real quick, just pulled my camera out and said, hey, my name's Dave Snowberger. I'm with Texas River Ranch, Keller Williams United Group at the time. Now it's Snowberger Realty.
I love branding.
Right. And so I'm with Texas River and Ranch. I'd like to talk to you more about your property. Karen, whatever her name was, told me to give you a call. Mm-hmm. And so immediately, like 5 minutes later, the guy calls back and he's like, hey, yeah. And we start talking and I get the appointment. I go out there and I'm like, so how do you know Karen? And he's like, I don't know Karen. What are you talking about?
You're like,
And so like right then, like my world shifted.
Yeah.
Like I was in there, like I'm relaxed because it's a referral. There's no
Right.
pressure. And that's another way like this stuff can get, get into your head.
Absolutely.
That
Get
quick,
in your
the
way.
situation
Yep.
can change. Like he brought up earlier that he gets a little bit nervous once the mics go on here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, why? We should all be relaxed and having fun with this stuff.
sure.
And he's looking at
Right.
new guy, by the way.
Yeah, right. I'm looking directly at Marshall Tucker. And so, anyway, so like my world changed. But then I was like, you know what? I'm already here. I'm already in the house. Like, go for it. And I got the listing.
Nice.
$650,000. It was like bam, and got the listing.
It's awesome.
So anyway, that was off text. Then another one right after that. That we actually have currently listed right now. Same deal. Said she had talked to through a text. She's like, I've already talked to over 45 agents. And so, boom, pulled the phone out. I was like, yeah, but you haven't talked to me yet.
You haven't seen me yet.
And yeah, I was like, now you seen me.
I synced it.
And so now you seen me. And sure enough, she called back and she said, hey, I really liked the video that you did. Why don't you come over and to my house? No. But she said, why don't you come over and bring your presentation and show me what you have.
Let's cue the sexy music. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or the
Not this.
all right, we're gonna get
This
taken off
listing
the
presentation got super awkward.
air. And so you're right. So the text and the video stuff, that's something that we dabble in quite a bit. And that has been, I believe, a lot of these things we've touched on in the past. Yeah. However, people always ask, like, hey, how are you doing this? How are you getting so many clients? Or how do you have so many people right now, only being this many years into the business? And it was always, I would say, Facebook. And like, oh, you do Facebook ads. I was like, no, I don't do any ads. I just put myself out there constantly. Yeah, I'm omnipresent in the spaces. I do videos on food.
Right.
I do videos on the cool stuff we just did in Branson, on amusement parks and whatever else. And I just turned the camera around on me, and I just started going for it. I used to be super shy and never want to do that stuff and have that big D personality where I beat on my chest, and people that do that stuff are stupid. You know?
We used to be in the park re-recording videos over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you're like one and done.
A story that you don't know about. An agent came into the office while you were gone, and you were, I think, on an appointment, and said, "Hey, I know you guys do a lot of videos." And I was like, "Well, for reference, I don't do a ton of videos." I was like, everybody else does more videos. I was like, I'm digging deeper. I sent a video out to a couple of people, and I'm growing that. So I can only tell you from outside perspective on what I have seen and what I consume. She's like, okay, well, I'm thinking about doing a Sunday show. The name, her show, with her name kind of rhymes. And then it's a champagne, having champagne.
Oh, our friend Sharmila.
Exactly. Yeah, and so she's doing a Sunday show for a little while, sitting on the couch and talking about, great setting and talking about real estate and stuff like that. But she wanted the validation of doing that. And I was like, you need to go live. Because then you can get some more conversations, and you know what
she really needs, and we're going to work with her on this a little bit. Is because it's a great idea. Yeah. Her sound was lagging, and we have all these mics in here and all this cool stuff.
And that's too far back. Number one, like it could be horrible lighting, but if you can't hear,
Well, it's like this: we have great audio, but we have a horrible podcast, so it's kind of reversed.
Whoa.
Oh, geez.
Hey, we need some downvotes for that.
Yeah, right. So back to the video stuff. Yeah, like Sharmila's video was very cool. I did see it while I was gone, and then the minute I turned it on, it was the audio. I'm like,
she's too far back.
She had showed me. She had walked down the hall, and she's like, "Hey, can I have a minute of your time? I want you to see this." And I didn't get to connect with her that day. Yeah. And so I was like, maybe this is what she was talking about, because if she has a mic, that's a home run.
Oh yeah.
It's still already a home run.
It's a great idea.
It's a solid home run, but with a mic, it's out of the park.
Yeah. And she's interesting, engaging.
I got her some equipment that I can sell her for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. And the camera actually live streams to Facebook and everything.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. You should just donate that to the team here. Okay.
I'm so glad we have that on the Real Estate at the Rocks podcast with all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that way we can start coming live and people can see us on Facebook. We'll start turning this thing up a notch.
We'll talk.
All right.
Okay.
Get it all turned up in here.
I know.
Turned up. All right, so video, texting, none of that stuff you can do. If you don't know how to get comfortable on a camera, start with something as simple as Snapchat. 8 seconds, turn the camera around for 8 seconds. Is that how long it is? I'm not a Snapchatter.
Snap's a little bit longer now.
Is it?
I think.
Well, anyway, let's just
Facebook stories.
Yeah, you can just keep recording.
Yeah.
15 seconds, right?
Episode,
and so, you just kind of get on there. Then you'll see that nothing's going to happen to you. No one's going to give you thumbs down. Right. No one's, if someone doesn't like it, they're just going to turn out.
I've had people tell me they like my video.
Be authentic.
I like the video you sent me. Thank you.
Instagram stories are solid.
I see even the ones, we shoot at the Wilco Eats, and we shoot it with a local, somebody that's part of a Emmy award-winning show, right? So I got that bragging point. But I noticed that, it gets 35,000 views when I do that, 25,000 views, 35,000 views. But I'm just as happy turning my iPhone around to myself and doing the same thing, editing myself on GoPro Quick app and releasing it. And the same one I released 2 days ago is already like at 1,100 views. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it makes me kind of like that, in a sense, that celebrity in my sphere of influence, and the phone, that omnipresence, what's that called? The parasocial behavior.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. I don't want to hop off contact from this, but it does have to do with the video stuff.
Yeah.
And the texting is that parasocial behavior is all of a sudden your sphere of influence starts looking at you like you do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You are the professional when it does come to this stuff. You can solve my real estate problems or other problems in business that I might have. After the search game, we always talk about, after they've hit search, that's when they really need us as agents, as friends, as everything else to solve those problems for them. So,
and that's a beautiful thing too, when your marketing is on point and you have that confidence coming out and that good energy going. Because like I said, if they're not ready and they're referring you before they even use your services themselves,
Right.
that's huge.
Huge. Huge.
And you were just about to say the 3 bullet points. I mean, you guys are all kind of like hitting around it, but like why those video messages, why those text messages are important?
Why should anyone care?
Yeah, is because of that. Like all the context, all the mind frame and abundance and ability to help
what
them.
we bring to the
That's what
table, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Like, we're here to help you.
Yeah, that's
Right.
why they should care. That's why they should pick you over every other agent.
Right.
And it also, in a long, roundabout way, gives your USP, not in the short, concise one.
USP, unique selling proposition.
Yep.
Perfect. And then so why you versus 1.1, what does that say? 1 to 2 million others. So let's just go with our market. So why you versus 16 other thousand realtors in the Austin, Texas area?
Exactly.
What are you doing to stand out to get people to know, like, trust you, try you, buy from you, then repeat, and then refer?
Yeah.
Right? So
Not by me. I'm not for sale.
everybody's for sale. Everybody's for sale. But that makes a lot of sense. I like going through these points. Good job on the wall over here.
Yeah, I like
Thank
that.
you.
Maybe you could take a couple pictures of it and post it on the Top Shelf Agents page on
Yeah.
Facebook there. We should have that up and going here pretty soon. So there is no good home on the market. That's why I help my clients find the non-market homes that are perfect and that are not for sale.
James
Interested?
wrote that.
What does that mean?
Okay, so this is a really cool and interesting thing, especially when I was new. The conversation came up. I'm still new-ish.
You will always be
You're an
new
ish
guy.
now.
10 years down the road, you're going to be a new guy.
I know. That's what they be calling me. They're like, "Oh, hey, the new guy." I'm like, "Bro."
All right, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
But no, it's so a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, I've seen everything on the market." Like, well, would you be interested in something that's not on the market? And so, off-market properties or anything that's not currently on the MLS, pocket listings, things like that, you have access to. You may not know you have access to them, but you do because other agents have access. They're bringing things in there.
And so, so out of this part, there's no good home on the market. So this whole thing, where on that funnel does that correlate?
So that's the trust or the try. So you're enticing them. So
they already know you, like you, and trust you. Now they're going to try you. They're going to try you because you're bringing something different to the table.
A value that not every single agent is either conveying that they have.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
They
I sell
can do-
homes.
Yeah.
That kind of-
So like, so you're just going to check the MLS and then hope for the best. Oh yeah, you can.
Would you
and
be
they
interested in
do.
some off MLS
Off-market.
properties?
Yes.
Because they're not off.
Right.
I think there's a script for that.
There's a script for everything. However, it's kind of the same thing that we were talking about in our meeting the other day, was about ideas to reconnect with some of our old leads.
Yep.
Or to connect with somebody that's just right there on the teetering back and forth, that really can't find what they want. But knowing these things, when we sit around, say in the big meeting with 100 agents in there, and we start bringing up properties that are coming soon, that if we know about these properties beforehand, that is a great way. That's a great way to touch our clients again and say, hey, look, I know of something coming up here on 123 Main Street. Mm-hmm. If I can get us an appointment, are you down to meet me there at 4:00, or does 2:00 tomorrow work better? And going right for the appointment.
Right,
Say
sure.
2:00 works tomorrow. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've seen everything out there and nothing's compelling. And so, it's all stale. You used an analogy earlier. What was it about bread?
Bread.
Something
The
about
bread.
baking bread.
Yeah, I borrowed this from a friend, but basically, if you're listing a property and the
Right.
seller has a plan or goal to start on the high end in terms of pricing, you say, okay, Mr. Seller, you got to think in terms of a buyer. So if your house is a loaf of bread and you walk into a bakery and it's been there for a week versus one that just came on the shelf,
Right.
which one do you think the buyer is going to go towards?
Right on.
Fresh bread.
Fresh bread.
Which I don't know what that analogy had to do with anything we were talking about right now. However,
But you wanted me to share it, so
I
I
wanted
did.
to tie it in. and I could tie it in pretty well to that, but I kind of.
But that goes along the lines of like confidence and being able to take what you know and make it relatable.
Right.
Making it a loaf of bread.
Right.
What?
I don't know. It's not making it a loaf of bread. I don't know
Right.
where you're going. with
Because
that.
everybody buys bread. homie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, roll that
Gotcha.
dough.
Well, not everybody, but a lot of people.
Okay. And so then jumping on. My gosh. Jumping on down here to the number 3 here. 50 conversations. 50 conversations equals 1 sale. What do you mean by that?
So we're saying it's like we've said, dozens of times. It's a numbers game. So as much as it's time consuming, tedious to message people. And I've like, this week has been a whole lot of that. It's been a ton of emails, a ton of text messages. It feels like my finger's about to fall off. And now I'm slowly starting to see more people reach back out, more responses. I still have my the 5-year timeline lady. She's like, maybe a little bit sooner. I was like, all right, I'm just checking in with you.
Yeah.
Or I am checking in with
There's
you,
no
not just. I know, I corrected it. And so like I'm starting to get more and more of those conversations back, and people like, hey, I am interested in this property, and like a guy late last night, I have this much money for a down payment. I'm interested in this house. What would it look like for payments? But that's just because of a volume of messages I've been sending out and with nothing back. And now it's slowly starting to creep back.
Right.
So
And usually that's how it goes. We had a conversation. We were driving in the car the other day, and we went to go pick up a sign that from a house that we just closed on.
Yeah.
And so James was with me, and he was like, oh, I needed to call this lady again. She's not calling me back. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, how many times you call her? And he's like, once. I'm like, okay, bro. Like, you can't expect somebody to call you back.
Right.
I don't call my own mama back after one call.
The thing is,
you better call your mama.
The thing is, people have lives. Mm-hmm. These are, we treat them as leads, right? And so they're human beings just like us. They have lives, and so a lot of times, especially when you're calling them, they were present the day they came to the open house. They were present the day that they were looking on the internet and came across our website through whatever evil witchcraft we have of pay-per-click or whatever else that drives into our site, right? And so they're present. And that's why they say, so many studies have been done that when you contact or if you get a lead into your inbox, it's best to contact them within 5 minutes. That way you can almost guarantee they're certainly still at the computer.
Right.
They're still on their phones. They're still searching property at that time. Every second after 5 minutes, the chances of getting a hold of them fades. Dwindles. And so if you wait 24 hours, they've definitely, most certainly, positively moved on to something else.
Or
so when you
another realtor has already responded to another inquiry.
True. And you can really see that too. Just another sidebar on that is that if you're getting full-on information in your contact space, more than likely that person's not afraid to leave their information and has left it on multiple sites.
That's right.
Because how we look at these things these days is, I had it written down right here, is in the stream economy. So fast, mobile, and now. That's how everybody wants everything now. So if you've waited 24 hours, more than likely an agent has beaten you to the punch. Or if nobody has called them back, they've certainly forgot about it the next day, right?
Yeah.
And so when you call and you disrupt their day, whatever they're doing at that time, they might remember being on your website. Yeah. A lot of times we deal with people that say they don't remember being on our website. Oh, that's not me. Okay, we have your phone number, we have your correct email, and we have your name, but you were never on our website. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Had a couple of those.
Right. And so it's really just up to us to try to, go for more questions to see if we can keep them on the phone for a little bit and see if we can jog their memory a little bit and give them the benefit of the doubt that they just don't remember being on there. Yeah. Right. Which does happen. Yeah. And so back to the 50 conversations, one sale right there. That's not a guarantee that every 50 conversations you're going to grab one sale out of it. However, that's really your goal.
Yeah.
So that gives you...
There's a median.
And to also take that back, so if you go along the lines of like Keller Williams training is especially bold, they are training you for every 20 conversations, you're setting an appointment.
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to scale it back just a little bit, because 50 is kind of like, oh my God, but 20 conversations, set an appointment. Make that your intention.
Yeah. And even when you're not succeeding, like there's a couple weeks where like I was getting nothing. Mm-hmm. Like I was talking to voicemails almost exclusively.
Well, it's like I told you today. It's you're doing all this stuff and you're getting nothing. Yeah. It's you need to go somewhere, go in your car, go into the stairwell, go into your elevator, go wherever you can that you can have private and scream my favorite 4-letter word, which is
taco.
Okay, we should have saw that one coming. Marshall and I thought it was an entirely different word. We're like, oh, all right, yeah, that's a...
Mine started with an F and it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
fun is only 3 letters.
Well, I'm not counting.
It wasn't funk.
It wasn't funk. Was it food?
No, it was more. The word is more.
More.
Yeah, and that's what agents don't get.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get it certainly for years. Was I just had to do more. If you do more, you'll get more out of it.
That's right.
It's the whole thing with like most folks these days that I'm seeing are decreasing their goal instead of increasing their efforts, right? So they decrease their goals. They decrease their quotients. Like, how many calls am I going to make today? Well, I want to set 3 appointments. I only have on my list and I'm going to call 30 people. Man, you're that good.
Right.
Like your leads, your numbers, your spear is that great that for every 10 calls you're getting
That's amazing
one
conversion.
appointment. That's
Yeah.
an amazing conversion,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Well, they don't mix, they don't mesh. And so a lot of times when I'm coaching clients, they tell me this stuff and I'm like, man, that's just do the math on that.
Right.
You know, I mean, you're going to make 30 phone calls today. That means everyone's going to answer. And out of those 30 that answer, you're going to get 3 appointments. And it's Monday. That's your Monday goal.
It's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
let's switch gears here. You tell me what you're doing to have those fantastic numbers. Okay, that hasn't worked out for you once. Okay, I don't want to be the person that says like set these realistic goals. It's not about that, but it's setting goals that are, you know, not necessarily attainable, because attainable goals are kind of weak goals. But if you're going to do that, you're more than likely going to need to call more than 30 people. If you need 3 appointments in one day, you're probably going to have to scale to 90.
Right.
You might have to scale to 190.
Well, this goes back to also tracking your numbers, right? This is, I just recently started this year where I'm actually tracking not only conversations, but actual calls. Like,
Right.
how long does it take before somebody answers?
Right.
And just breaking it down that way.
Right.
Because you can't fix what you don't know, right?
Right.
So,
Well, we also had a client that was the same thing. Was we had kind of coached him. He was wanting either Mojo or Red X or, you know, one of the dialers out there, and we gave him our opinions on it, and he went ahead and purchased it, and he sat there, and his goal was to make 50 calls.
yeah.
So he had 50 dials, and he gave up. And he's like, hey, I made my 50 dials for today. Well, it's a triple dialer, and nobody was picking up. So it was just dialing for 15, 20 minutes, and that person felt accomplished after that.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just kind of like, hey, I made my 50 dials. You know? It's like, whoa. That was your goal, was 50 dials? Like, what about like substantive conversations?
Right,
like,
right.
you didn't have anything. That's not a good goal, I would say.
No.
You know? And so that is the whole...
If
goal
I
thing
don't
I'm
have 20
talking about.
conversations a day about real estate,
You have withdrawals?
I do. I'm start shaking and get a little twitch. Yeah.
Well, you have that anyway, so how do you know the difference?
Shut up. Such a hater.
I don't hate the sleepy eye. I'm kidding.
Okay, thanks.
People go into the
Appreciate
Facebook
that.
page now.
Yeah, I do not look
She
like
really
that.
has a sleepy eye? She really look like Popeye? They'll be surprised to see that you don't. Or glad to see. Anyway, number 4. Seller ads on Facebook. You wrote that on there. I know we were talking about that before. Facebook ads. One thing.
It's just social media. I guess we can tweak that. The social media ads.
Right.
Because they were talking about their response to the ads was, or a client's response to the ads were like, "Oh, I see you everywhere. I saw you on a dating dating app. Like
Right.
you're everywhere." And that's kind of where you want. And he's like, "Well, it's obviously not me. It's the team is being omnipresent, which you talk about a lot. Regardless of where it is, it's just casting a wide net, a quality message,
Right.
a wide net."
In a loud marketplace.
You know, one of my favorite things is when you go somewhere, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, I'm sure it has, where somebody's like, "You look familiar." And I have no idea who they are. And I'm like, well, when people tell me that, I just like to say that my marketing's working because I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
And it just starts the conversation. So that's what you want, is when people are like,
Yeah.
I
recognize you.
I
You look
usually
familiar.
say, so you read GQ?
You watch the 9 o'clock news?
See that cop chase last night? That was me.
I escaped.
No, but I have my it was against my better judgment at first, but in my marketing, I have my face plastered on everything, right? And so it's on my sign, it's on my business cards, it's on, you know, I'm all over social media posting things.
Right.
And it's not that a lot of people think that's ego driven. And I think some of it's ego driven. However, it was definitely, I had to get to a point of being comfortable with doing that because I was afraid of negative feedback or like backlash from it from friends. And I
Sure.
actually had a friend that I went to go meet him. He owns a painting company, well, one of the biggest ones in town. And you would never know that he owns it, right?
Yeah.
because they don't have the same industry where they plaster their face over everything. However, I went to go get a bid at this big house that we're doing over here in Austin, repainting for a client. And he was like, how do you do that? Are you not embarrassed? And I was just like, why would I be embarrassed?
Yeah.
You know? And he was like, well, no, I didn't mean it like that. It's just like, I would be embarrassed to be on camera. Like, it just kind of, it's out of my comfort zone. And I was like, man, you just got to get comfortable with yourself and turn the camera around and just start doing it. And now he's one of the biggest painting companies around, and his face is plastered over everything.
Yay.
And he's always doing the little Facebook commercials and really doing the same things we were doing when we were first starting out doing the real estate stuff.
I love it.
And so he's really upped his game there and become even bigger in the painting world.
That is awesome. I love it.
And now people know who he is, you know? And so and he's posting a lot more about his family. They just had another kid, and so he's got that plastered everywhere. And
you got to be relatable.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's really all that ever I tried to do. And I'm at grocery stores every once in a while, and somebody will see me like, I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, yeah, where do you live? Oh, I live over here. And I was like, well, I'm selling 2 houses over there, so you probably pass my sign all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's one of my favorite things to say also is as soon as I take a listing, I sold a house, and we closed on it. The same one I was just talking about. We closed on it. I had never met the wife.
Oh, yeah.
And so I made some joke, and it came out kind of wrong, but it was just like, yeah, you see me every morning you wake up, thinking that, you know, when she leaves for work, my face is in her front yard. And that's what I meant. She's like, excuse me? No, I meant like
The sign.
Never mind.
the sign. Yeah, I was like, the sign is in your front yard.
Cue the crickets.
Exactly. And so it just was poorly delivered. I wasn't.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, comedy's all about timing and delivery, so you got to work on that, man.
I'm all right there.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, so we're probably gonna have to go ahead and wrap this one up. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it looks like we're having too much fun.
Too much fun. What's that mean?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
So I want to once again thank our sponsor, Mike Harrell. He was formerly with Guild Mortgage, I believe, but has moved over to Guaranteed Rate. Is that how I understand it?
Rate.
Yep.
Guaranteed Rate. All right, so you can reach him at our same email at info@realestateontherocks.com. Remember, we are always here for you with referral business. Central Texas, Austin, Texas, Round Rock, Texas, Georgetown, Leander, Cedar Park, you name it, anywhere within basically 100 miles of Austin, Texas, we have covered. Send us your referrals. We do pay 25%. Not pandering for your referrals, but they would sure be appreciated. And then we do reciprocate for our referral partners. We will send you everybody we have in your area. Am I missing anything?
Nope.
All right, well, let's get on to the next one. Thanks so much for listening to this edition of Real Estate on the Rocks. Visit our page, Top Shelf Agents. Make sure that you like it. Give us a 5-star review, and have a good day.
Bye, y'all.
We are out.